We're going to work on finding equal ratios. You know that it is a proportional relation if all pairs of corresponding values are in the same ratio. That means you have two ratios that equal each other. First, let's look at a problem. When sixth grade calendar sales began, Ms. Diaz bought the first 6 calendars. From his purchase, the class raised $18. By the end of the first day of sales, $63 was raised. How many calendars have been sold by the end of the first day? First of all, we have to determine what are we comparing. In this case, we're comparing calendars to money. So I'm going to go ahead and label that I'm comparing money to calendars, just so I have my labels and do not confuse things. Now, I know for $18, I sold 6 calendars. How many calendars would I have sold if I made $63? Remember, if money's on top on one side, it must be on top on the other. Now, if we cross multiply, let's go ahead and cross multiply 6 times 63. That's going to give us 378. Then remember, we want to divide by this lonely guy. So 378 divided by 18 equals 21. That means we sold 21 calendars. Now, here are some different ways of looking at things. Here's Lewis, Kate, and Darnell. Each thought about the exercise 1, the one we just did with the calendars, in 3 different ways. Well, Lewis said, I found out how much 1 calendar was. Well, if $18, I got 6 calendars, how much was 1? Again, cross multiply and divide by the lonely guy. And you'll find out that each calendar costs $3. Now, how many calendars can we get for $63? If we take 63 and divide it by 3, you'll find out you have 21 calendars. Kate said they raised $18 for 6 calendars, so she wrote it as 18 over 6. I multiplied both parts by the same amount to get to 63. Well, that means she multiplied by 3.5. If you multiply the top and the bottom by 3.5, you're going to find out you have $63 for 21 calendars. Now, Darnell set up a table. And remember, to find a missing number, we just need 2 different ratios. We can use any of them to determine. I'm going to put 6 over 18. It's going to equal what over 63? Again, I'm going to cross multiply. What is 6 times 63? Well, that's 378. And then divide by the lonely guy, dividing by 18 to find out that X equals 21 calendars. All 3 are correct. They just did it a little bit different. Now, this one's not in your book, but let's take a look at if we had 2 rectangles. Well, we have 2 rectangles. We have a width and a length of each. I'm going to go ahead and label them so that I can determine what is what. So 3 centimeters here for A is the width, and 18 centimeters is the height. Well, if I look at B, 9 centimeters is the width, and X is the height, because I would need to turn B to make sure that they were in the same direction. Now, I want to compare height to width. So if 18 centimeters to 3 centimeters equals X, because I don't know what the height of the second one is, to 9. Again, you're going to cross multiply 18 times 9. And when I cross multiply 18 times 9, I get 162. And then divide by the lonely guy of 3. And 162 divided by 3 equals 54. So now let's look at another one. Susan rented skis at Budget Mountain. She paid $20 for 3 hours, and she used the skis for 6 hours. The rental cost is proportional to time. What is her rental charge? Well, again, now I'm comparing money to hours. For $20, I had 3 hours of ski time. How much did I have for 6 hours? Again, I can cross multiply 6 times 20 to get 180, and then divide by the lonely guy of 3, and 180 divided by 3 gives me the how much money it would have cost her, which is $40. Here's another one with paint. First Rate Rags wants to make a large batch of the shade dye below. The final batch must contain 136 containers of blue and yellow. How many containers of blue? Well, I am comparing blue to total containers because my answer they want to know for total. So I have 3 blue in my picture for a total of 8 containers here. How many of those blue would I have if I had 136? Again, if I cross multiply 3 times 136, I get 408. Well, 408 divided by 8 would give me a total of 51 blue containers of paint. Now, Kyle and his parents went to Algeria during the summer break. Before they left, Kyle exchanged some money for Algerian dinars. In exchange, 12 US dollars, he received 804 Algerian money. So I am comparing American dollars to Algerian money. So for 12 US, I got 804 Algerian. If he came home with 201 Algerian, how much American money is that? Well, if we cross multiply 12 times 201, we get 2,412. And then we want to divide by that lonely guy of 804 to find out that he came home with 3 US dollars. Now, in the space you have below, we're going to do one more that we don't have a picture there for, and it's not in your book, but we're going to go ahead and do it, and I'd like you to draw it. On a sunny day, if a 36-inch yardstick casts a 12-inch shadow. Well, let's just draw a rectangle here. That kind of is my yardstick. I put some lines in it, and I know that it's 36 inches tall. And here is the shadow that it casts. It's 21 inches. Now I also have a building next to it. And let's say that the building, we don't know how tall it is, but the shadow that is cast was 168 feet. I want to determine how tall the building is. So I still need to set up a proportion, but first of all, we have inches and we have feet. Remember, I have to have the same units in order to determine this. So 168 feet, I would need to determine how many inches that is first. So 168 times 12, because there's 12 inches in a foot, is 2,016 inches. Now, let's set up a proportion. Height to shadow. Whoops, excuse me. Shadow for S. So 36-inch yardstick casts a 21-inch shadow. A building, we don't know how many inches it is, casts a shadow of 2,016 inches because we have to have it in the same units. If I cross multiply 36 times 2,016, make sure you're drawing our line so we know we're cross multiplying, I get 72,576. And remember, you want to divide that by your lonely guy of 21 inches. So we find out that the building is 3,456 inches tall. If we wanted to change that to feet, we could divide that by 12 to find out that it's 288 feet tall. Go ahead and give your homework a try. See you in class tomorrow.